Hi, my name is Connor Shep, and I'm the owner of Rebuild Performance and Rehab. In this video, I'm going to walk you through our roadmap for return following ACL injury. Tearing your ACL can be an extremely tough journey to go through for an athlete. 1 minute, you're an amazing athlete doing amazing things. Then you get injured and you lose a part of who you are. This can lead to fear about what to do and if you'll ever return to the athlete you were before. The good news is you don't have to go through this alone. Through years of experience in ACL Rehab, I've developed this roadmap to help you understand our plan of action and how we're going to go from catastrophic injury to performing at a higher level than ever before. Each phase of this roadmap will have points of emphasis to focus on. We're going to review those today. Each phase will also have exit criteria consisting of several tests to make sure that you're ready to progress to the next phase. We'll review those in another video. But today, we're just going to focus on the different emphasis for each phase, which takes us to phase 0, which starts as soon as the injury occurs and ends as soon as we get to surgery. You've just gone through a traumatic injury, but there's so much that we can do now to set us up for success following surgery. First, we need to all get on the same page and lay out our plan of action on how we're going to return from this injury. This is a team effort. Next is the psychological prep. We need to make sure that we're in a good space mentally for a successful rehab. The mind leads the body. Your thoughts and feelings will impact the outcomes of your journey back to performance. Lastly is the prehab. Prehab is any physical preparation done before the operation. This work is vital to the process so we can hit the ground running after operation. Once we clear surgery, we're right into phase 1. Your body has just gone through another traumatic experience and requires healing. Especially in the early weeks following operation, we need to allow the body time to do its job and heal, providing treatment to mitigate inflammation, pain, and any unneeded stress. Then, we need to start restoring joint function as soon as possible, particularly knee flexion and extension. If we fail to fully restore these now, it sets us up for failure later on down the road. Motor control is our brain's ability to coordinate bodily actions. When you're injured or undergo a procedure, the connection to your brain and your body is damaged. So restoring control is a major key performance indicator for our progression, which leads us to phase 2. Now the athlete has restored general function and motor control. We can start to focus on restoring physical competency, which takes us to our first principle of mastering movement. Movement is the single most important skill athletes have and what sets athletes apart. We're going to lay a foundation of movement in this phase that will span the rest of the athlete's career. Next is restoring general strength. We must be able to apply large amounts of force if we want to return to performance and mitigate risk of future injury. Because we were able to lay groundwork in the previous 2 phases, we can now safely progress to our return to run. With our speed-based approach, we can start our linear progression of drills and short accelerations. Once they've met the exit criteria for phase 2, we will now graduate to phase 3. This phase is the middle of the return to performance and probably the longest. We've made a lot of progress, but we still have a lot of work to do. In this phase, our goal is to master linear sprinting and to reintroduce change of direction gradually. Now that we have restored quality movement, we can now start to return to extensive conditioning, laying a foundation of aerobic development before we progress to more sport-specific conditioning later on in the roadmap. In the last phase, we started to restore our strength. In this phase, we want to start expressing our newfound force capabilities at higher speeds, focusing on developing pure power. This takes us to phase 4, which is considered end-stage rehab. Every facet of physical performance is going to be present in phase 4. We will now start working on agility and being able to react to external stimulus, starting in a controlled and safe manner before progressing to more chaotic and sport-specific environments to make sure that the athlete is prepared for the chaos of live play. Our conditioning will be game simulations where the athlete will be performing similar tasks and the same time demands as their position in the sport. We will then transition from power to more of an elastic strength focus, being able to create large amounts of force at rapid speeds. This then takes us to phase 5, which is the culmination of all the work we have done up to this point. This is where we see a lot of mistakes be made. Athletes are in a good position physically, but get thrown back to the fire and fail to perform, or even worse, are re-injured. Which is why we want to focus on progressing return to training back in the team environment where they have clear expectations on how they should return. This will include gradual acclimation back into training and playing over a 4 to 6 week period. And then lastly, we want to ensure that the athlete can tolerate all the demands of their sport before eventually clearing them for full participation. This is a 30,000 foot view of what you can expect when returning from ACL injury when working with Rebuild Performance and Rehab. Reach out today to start your journey back to peak performance.